Hey everyone, this is Mai Xee. This is going to be a little bit different. I am here with my brother Lee Vane. We're going to be talking about a book today. We're going to do like a book discussion. There's going to be spoilers. we uh we both read this book, okay?
Yep, it's called Pahua and the Soul Stealers. I'm happy to meet you guys. My name is Lee. I am Mai
That's my
Zee's
brother.
younger brother.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to meet you guys here in YouTube.
OK，在那这都要係路人見到新嚟呀，他這碰到那有啥 promote 啦，有啥跨碰到那都就咪nhỏ tú luận chạy luận nhất tới chờ mi cả nó có lợi nhận碰到那thiên có lợi họ lọp bảo trợ để bên mong nó trong này chả chỉ ư yếu hay luận kiến到mù lợi sư ấy thà nó ta chỉ ư hay luận kiến sư họ như này nó sản nó khỏi hay luận mong nếu
Uh-huh.
một trận của chị trong ấy thì để chú danh va nó mà của mà muốn share cho nó cá nó thế
Mm-hmm.
cái đó nó chỉ có hay luận mong xưa ở trên luận kiến thì chỉ tin nó muốn nó chỉ có hay luận kiến ở xưa nè giờ chấm long cờ luận kiến đến đó là nem long còn nè họ chế này bị tao tao thế nhìn thả trong lý à lấy thả luận mong thứ thế để chủ yếu hay luận kiến chứ thế này chỉ còn nè họ cờ tiên họ thế and
Mm-hmm.
they use learn it's a way to learn too.
Thầu ứ hai linh đó mà ý là li thầu hai hai lúc mong nó chè mà tê lo và you chỉ tao sĩ đua thế ý là li you chỉ mua cho luôn đó chè trong cô nhân nhân đặc của tôi khen mà của mua translate nhau nhau nè chè của hai tao hai hai giờ hai lúc mong nó chè hai chua măng nè chè giờ mua
nhưng
hai lúc mình
mà
cả nó chè tao ý nhau rong rong nó
nhưng mà ứ hai lùi trong đi bé lo lo rồi đấy chẳng nói gì bé hai lùi mi cả là nó sẽ mà giờ thôi luôn nữa thì lùi mi cả thì bé hai lùi bé speak English nữa thì bé hai lùi nữa thì trong bé blia đùa thế gì cho lùi nữa lo dùng gì đùa gì chỉ cho sai lùi nó là mà thôi gì hai lùi
ừ
mong chỉ phải mua sai thì lo lùi này dù oli cha thế lại hai tao lùi mong lo mong chỉ mua nè chỉ phải chỉ sai lên nữa chỉ hai tao chỉ blia nó là mà
yeah hai tao chừng bê thế hai tao rong li cho lù tu nè chè hay
yeah.
hay you phe xã cho lù là hay chè you hay to lù tu nó chè bữa mà hay lù mi cả rồi có trong nó gọi ít nhau ok thế do lỡ xã mù mong ở hay lù mong là mù trong cuộc sống để thế chè đều rồi nó chè ứ yo thả họ lù ăn kỹ. So this book is called Pahua and the Soul Stealer. It was written by Lori M. Lee. So Lori is a Hmong author. So she is so this book is actually published by Disney Books. So I think it's a very good publishing place, right?
Yep, it is published by DisneyBook.com. So if you want to download like the reader's guide, you can go there and
Mm-hmm.
download it. It will tell you like the different things too, to look for and everything too.
Yep, and this book is it's presented by Rick Riordan. So he is actually the author to Percy Jackson and the Olympians. So it's a fairy tale like, but it incorporates like a lot of Hmong culture into this book. So it's a very nice book. It's a very well put together book.
I agree with you, Lee. I think this book is like well written. It is like I can definitely tell that Lori did a lot of research and she incorporated a lot of like the Hmong stories
Mm-hmm.
and she used like words that she cannot find in English. She actually used like the Hmong words, like
Yep. Yep.
Ponzong. She wrote that
Mm-hmm.
in Hmong, and so like
Yep.
I
She has a
really
glossary at the end where you can go and look up the words. Like bonzong, and then you can see what the definition of bonzong is. So she has a glossary at the end that is very helpful. Like even I needed to use that sometimes too.
yep. So I read a lot of like books and stories too, and I love like myths and legends from different groups of people from around the world. And then I like the Greek mythologies, like
Hmm.
Zeus
Yep.
and like Aphrodite's and all that too. And so I
Hmm.
can see her like that she has incorporated a lot some of that Western, like
Yep.
stories into the books too. So
Yep, yeah, she's definitely a good storyteller, and then
mhm,
she does a good. Like, I feel like she did a really good job at like incorporating like our shaman like rituals and our stories like Ningojo she incorporate that into the book and like Shi Yi, like the story of Tu Zineng Shi Yi, she incorporated that into the story well too. So she made it her own. Like she took those stories and she made her own story from that. So I really appreciated that. Like it's really good,
mhm,
and I think she made this story to her own. So
mhm.
that's a really good part to this.
That's how you know that the author is good, you know, they
Hmm.
took all these other stories and they can incorporate that into their own story and create like a new story.
Yep.
I haven't read like her other books, you know, but like this
Hmm.
is like the first book that she wrote about Hmong people, and we were thinking about like what kind of like book discussion, what kind of things should we do, you know, to promote education, to talk about this. And then we're like, oh,
Yep.
we recently saw this book, why don't the two of us read this and then talk about it, you know? And so we bought this book like a month ago, and because it was written for like young adults, so like I would say like 12, 10 to high schoolers, you will like students will really enjoy this book, you know, especially I really encourage like our Hmong students and
Hmm.
Hmong young audience to read this book. You will learn so much about like the Hmong culture and like the Hmong, like, especially like the shamanism, you know, understanding that perspective of it, and why things are the way they are. She has a really good of explaining it in that, but
Hmm.
then to also incorporate like the fictional part to it, that
Yep.
makes it really interesting. So
Yep. Yep. She does a lot of like storytelling of like how you're just seeing spirits. So she incorporates a lot of like spirits and a lot of the supernatural aspect of the Hmong culture, where it's more about like ghosts and like
yep,
demons.
yep.
So it's kind of like Harry Potter, like it's about magic, but this one's about kind of like the shaman
Shaman magic.
yeah, shaman
And so
magic.
like
Yeah.
yeah, instead of like Harry Potter magic, you know, waving the wand, she's waving like a 点灯 sort of.
Yeah, yeah. So that's yeah, I found that yeah, that was really good.
And then she talked about like the school of for shamans too, so you can kind of
Hmm.
think like all these shaman go to a school like Harry Potter, and then they go and they learn how to do magic, you know.
Yeah,
So she
so
kind of like incorporate that like all these shaman people come to the school and they learn
yep.
to do different tasks, and they go up higher in the role, and you know
Yes.
as they become more, they learn more about the shaman rituals and everything, you know. And then shamans, they don't fight people in the real world, right? They
Yeah.
fight like spirits, and they go into like different
Yep.
realms,
Yeah.
and they learn all these magical spell, they have all these things, all these tools they can use with them too when they got in like the different realms.
Yeah, so they have
So
talisman, and then a book talk about like spirit horses, like
yeah,
how the shaman, why they have like a contract with a horse. So when you see them do a ritual, they're jumping on the table. That's kind of like it
yeah,
represents the horse, but the author like she took that and spin it in a way where it's kind of like yeah, you have to have like a contract with this horse in the spirit realm to
for
take
the horse to
you
come.
yeah, to take you places. So
Yep,
it's really interesting how she did it. Yeah.
I truly appreciate this book. That's why we're like doing this. We are like promoting her out of
Yeah.
our own free free will.
No, it's a good
But
book. I recommend this book for young. It's a young like young adult book
but I do
for middle
recommend
schoolers. Yeah,
for like any Hmong adults that can read English to read
yeah,
this
I
book
do
too.
recommend for them too. Yeah, it's a good read. It's nice. Nice
It's
read.
easy read.
Yeah.
It's easy read, and you can understand it. So if you're like a Hmong adult and you can read English, I do encourage you to read this too, and then kind of talk about it with your children too, to
Mm-hmm.
promote the Hmong culture and things too. And so I really, I don't know, like it's hard to find books that talk about the Hmong culture and like shamanism, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like we're not like me and my brother are my family, we're not like Christian. Church, we're not Christian, so we grew up with all these stories that she talked about in here, and we grew up with hearing like shamanism, all these stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
then we really never like something you can find that out there, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so
Like, although this book is like a fiction, like it does tell you, like, just give you like a perspective of how like the shaman realm is like, where well, it gives
mm,
you like an imagination of like
yep.
how when you enter this realm, what it may look like. So it's just very good in that perspective, where it's, although it's fiction,
Hmm.
it takes you to this magical place where, like, we've heard stories, and then it incorporates other stories. um so yeah, it's really interesting.
So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of go do more into details with the book too. So it's going to be like a little bit of spoiler alert
Hmm.
now, because we're and we're gonna talk about like some of the details in here too. And so yeah, at least gonna start us out with that.
Okay, so from what I remembered, so basically, this book starts out with Pahua. She's 11 years old at the time. So basically, she has like this past history where her dad left the family. So her mom moved them out of the monk community to like a smaller town where it's just full of like other race. So not with there's no monk community there. At this place, she feels like an outcast. So, and then at Pahua, so like as far as she can remember, like she has like she can
She,
see spirits. She can
yep, she has the
see like
she has the
ghosts.
ability to see
Yep.
all kinds of spirits. Okay.
Yep. So she can see spirits, she can see ghosts, she can see and talk to them so that she can communicate with them. But as this like went on, like she kind of just like ignored them, but she can communicate with them. And
Hmm.
and then as for as long as she can remember, she has this friend that's a cat, and she named the cat Me, which is cat
Me, cat,
Me
and
cat
cat.
and Mona. So nếu mà to cat who me, yeah. So that's pretty interesting, and it's pretty funny in a way where, and I guess she is kind of like what our kids I imagine what most Hmong American kids are, where she doesn't know Hmong enough to to read, and she kind of lost her vocabulary over time.
Hmm.
So yeah, she's kind of like most Hmong American kids, or I think like most of them can relate to her story.
Hmm. Yep.
So she feels like an outcast, and then there's a new girl came to their school, and then they wanted to go see this haunted bridge, but she's just kind of like reluctant to go. But then the new
It's kind of
girl, she feels like she can make friends with this new girl, so she went
yep.
along. And then when they got to the bridge, they saw that there was a ghost girl there. So she
Yeah, the friends did not see this ghost girl, but
yeah,
Pahua can see that there was like a little girl on the bridge.
yeah. So when she
Who-
saw the girl, she was kind of spooked by her, but then she feels sad for the girl because the girl looks sad. So she made the mistake of talking to the girl, and then while talking to the girl, I think she brought up her brother's name too. So she has a younger brother named Matt, and then she
Mm.
kind of mentioned Matt's name, and then the ghost girl, kind of heard it. Then all of a sudden, like, she disappeared. But then when they came back from the bridge to the school, she saw that her brother was there, and her brother said that something was calling out his name.
Yep, yep.
So that's kind of where it started on the story.
So they came home. Everything was normal, but then we forgot that like when Pahua sees spirits, she sees like the household spirits, like Molly Beitu household spirits. Now she can see like the
Hmm.
the door spirits. Lúc mong là their dad she sees like the dasika and she sees the dakotso the
Hmm.
stove, the household spirits. And then when she came back home, the household spirit were not. They were kind of mad at her. They're like, "You did something wrong,"
Hmm.
that she brought something she shouldn't have home, and they were kind of like hiding. And
Hmm.
so she kind of like had this bad feeling that she did something wrong, right? And so like that night, her brother just all of a sudden got really sick. And then when her mom came home, because she's like a single mom, she's been like working a lot too, and so she's kind of leaving Pahua to kind of like look after her brother. She doesn't come home until like later at night too, and so when her mom come home, Pahua kind of like mentioned to her mom that maybe her mom should like do some shaman stuff because she's
Hmm.
aware that like she knows that like um her mom and her family are shamans too, especially her mom's sister Galia, right? Nitai
Hmm.
Galia,
Yep.
she is a shaman, so she kind of like mentioned to her mom that is if her mom would bring like a shaman for her brother, and then her mom's like, no, he should be fine. It's just like a typical gutahao meme, kind of like a little
Hmm.
fever too. So she gave him some Tylenol and sent him to bed. And then that night she was like worried, and so like 5 in the morning she got up and she went to check on him. And Pahua has this like she's born with like all these spiritual energy in her body, and when she went to touch her brother's forehead, she can sense that like his spirit energy has been lost, like
Hmm.
it's no longer in his body. And so like that's why she went to wake up her mom. And then her mom came over. Her mom was worried. When it was like a little bit lighter outside, she snuck out of the house. But before that, she knew where her mom kept like nhiệt tài like ilu tư nánh nè bây giờ. She knew
Hmm.
where her mom kept the gong, the wooded knife for Ornangda, and then she knew where all that went. So she snuck to her mom's room and she put all of that and carried that and on a mission to go summon the little ghost girl again so that she can talk to that ghost girl and tell her to leave her brother alone. That was her intention, right? So
Yeah.
she took she took like the gong and she went to the bridge. And then when she hit the gong, instead of like the ghost girl that show up, an actual Bonzong
Hmm.
show up.
Yeah. So this Bunzong was he like how she wrote the book, like how this Bunzong is like the Bunzong was wearing like I thought I think it was like
Spandex, all right?
spandex or something, but she went into details to why they wear clothes, because these Bunzona, they want to feel like human again, so they go and they just wear these clothes. And then it's kind of funny how like when they went to the spirit realm later on, they see the store that's selling clothes for these bonzona. So I thought that was pretty funny.
Yep.
but but when the bonzons showed up, like she was scared. So you see that there's another little girl just came out of nowhere.
Yep.
But her
It's this
name,
girl. No.
yep, Zhang,
Yeah, her name is Zhong. I think it's Zhong.
Zhang.
I th-
But
Z-
but according to the glossary, it's supposed to be, or
Zhong.
it's Zhongna. Yeah.
Giống Ly Hà giống nè.
Yeah, Li Ha
So
Zhong, but that's where she meets Zhong, and then Zhong kills the Bonzong right there, and then she kind of explained to her that when you use the gong like that, like you just summon like like spirits and Bonzong, you attract them, so you're not supposed to use the gong like that. So, and then that's where
that
she learns about the school of shaman, the
yep.
shaman school.
Zong is apparently on a quest or a mission. The school of elders has sent her to come check out. Oh, like when Pahua went and talked to that girl on the bridge, she kind of like released some kind of like spiritual energy from her body that she didn't
Mm-hmm.
know that she has, you know? She like signal to like the different realm, like demons and everywhere that uh she is who she is, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
later on you learn that she is like actually like you know, like what she like
Mm-hmm.
spirits to
Yep.
come and reincarnated into her body. She is really the true she's spirit, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
that's why she's able to see all of that. But then like when she met that ghost girl on the bridge, she kind of like she didn't know that. So she kind of like did some kind of thing to, and that's why the girl ghost girl disappeared. But like she kind of like released some kind of like energy, and then that alerts to like all the other people that oh she has come back into life, you know who she is, you know. And so that was one of the part that was missing from the beginning too.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, later on you find out that she's the reincarnation of Shi Yi. So that, but that's to, when Zhong and Pahua, when they made their trip to the Alco realm and to go meet with Shao. Shao is to so when they
he knows everything.
so he's kind of like an oracle where he knows everything, but he's stuck there because I forgot what he did, but he kind of offended somebody. But
He
he,
offended the god. he
yeah,
he Shao is like she's true follower. Actually she was punished to forever not be reincarnated again, you know. His soul was put it in like the
uh huh,
tree of soul, and he wasn't supposed to like being reincarnated anymore because he caused too much destruction to like
to the gods.
he apparently he cut like the tun tai tu na ma
Mm-hmm.
for the spirits to go to tu na. So so she's punishment was to forever not be reincarnated anymore. You later on you'll learn why like his spirit was like
Release, yeah.
release back and into so that he can be reincarnated again, you know. So if you
Mm-hmm.
read on the book you'll learn why, you know. But then
That's the end. So we
yeah.
won't spoil the end, but we'll spoil just a little, just enough, so you guys will get interested. But yeah, we won't spoil the end.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting when they went into the echo, right? Shao lives.
Mm-hmm.
She explained it like this is what like I really don't know if it's like a true story of Mong or not, or like this is like what she kind of like just incorporated, you know. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's like a bamboo where people were
The bamboo nursery, right?
sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bamboo nursery where people before they can reach Yashao, they fall asleep, you know, and then people were just sleeping everywhere, you know. So like you have to get out of there. You cannot fall asleep. Otherwise, if you sleep there, then you sleep there for eternity. You're kind of stuck there. And so that was just my one thing. I wasn't sure if that was like if there was any monk stories. I haven't heard any monk stories that incorporate the bamboo nursery
Mm-hmm.
idea or the echo rim in there, you know. And so yeah, shell for sure, but like
Mm-hmm.
all the other things when she used to talk about it, that was something like I'm like I don't think I that might be like a different like a whole rim that she created all on her own, you know. So
Mm-hmm. It could be, or it's just something that we haven't heard yet. So, I
mhm,
mean, it'll be nice to ask like either my dad or somebody who knows a bit more about
mhm,
these stories to clarify that. But it could be that she took it from somewhere else, or it's just a
mhm,
story that we haven't heard. You know, no, it,
mhm.
it could be. either.
Of course, Sleeping Beauty, like
Yeah.
there's a story there like the Sleeping Beauty story where everyone fall asleep like that, like she
Hmm.
mentioned that in there too, so that could be it. She incorporated that story into that, but then other than that, I don't think there's like any monk story that had to do with sleeping. That's what I was thinking of, so
Hmm.
the western part I can definitely see, but then the Hmong part for that realm, I only Shao was I able to like kind of like
Hmm.
identify things in there. So
Yeah, I have a funny story about show, but we're not gonna tell it today.
I know you have to read. Shao is a really really funny guy. He's punished to be in the
Hmm.
echo so that um he has to answer anybody who comes seek his advice, because
Hmm.
Shao is Chi's true follower, and because he was trying to, I forgot what his story was, he was trying to reach the level of Oneng to Chi's level,
Hmm.
and the god didn't like that, and so that's why they punish him by like making him become the oracle in the
Hmm.
echo. So so I think that
Yeah, yeah, I think so too. So once after they got to Shona, and then Sho kind of told them how to defeat the bridge spirit. That I think that's what she calls
yep,
the
the bridge
ghost girl.
spirit.
Yeah,
Hmm.
the bridge spirit. So Sho said that they will have to travel, or they will have to go and get the
She's
the axe and the light. Was it thunder axe?
the
Thun-
lightning axe.
the lightning axe, right? Okay,
Yep,
that
she đã tàu gió là lùm móc
yeah.
yeah, yeah, lightning, yeah, gió.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
lightning axe. So
yep.
they will have to go travel and retrieve this lightning axe in order to defeat the bridge spirit. So now they're on another quest to go find this
This
celestial
axe.
object
Yep.
to
Yep.
defeat the gods.
Yeah.
But this is the weapon that she used to destroy the bridge.
Yep.
So
This
this is a very powerful weapon that they needed to defeat the bridge spirit.
And then later on you learn that only she and his Pahua, since she's the reincarnation of she can be the only person that can wield this axe. No one
Hmm.
else can touch it. Like later on, like some dragon touched the axe and they just vanish into turn into smoke. That so
Yeah.
only like the true owner of the axe can wield the axe too. So
Hmm. Yeah. So
oh,
after meeting with Shona, they came back from the Alco to the real world, and then they went to go see Matt at the hospital with her mom, and then there after seeing her brother at the hospital, they went and they prepped to go to the spirit realm. So
yep.
they went to prep to go to the spirit realm, and I forgot how they got there because how Zhong explained na Zhong had the she went with her master na nito si
Mhm.
Fuitan no mobile. So she went with her master, but they traveled there spiritually. So to yuwanang ye yumunda spiritually, yeah. But I forgot how they went there physically.
They were supposed to go there like spiritually, but then they were like when they got back to the apartment, there was some like dragon.
Oh yeah, that's right.
There were
There,
some dragon there
yeah,
already waiting for Pahua
yep,
already because
yeah,
they
that's
like
right.
because she released that spiritual energy, so they knew that like she has been like is reincarnating back, and so someone already sent like
A dragon
people
after
looking,
her.
yeah,
Yeah.
dragging after her, looking for her to bring her to them, because they need Bahua to do something, okay? And so they apparently defeat the dragon and by tricking that dragon, and then he let them go, and so they decided they cannot go into the spirit realm like spiritually, they have to go in person. Me was the one that know how to go there, but
Hmm.
then they have to wear the red I don't know what that was called home, the red cloth, it's like the mask, yeah,
Hmm.
the red cloth mask, yeah.
Yeah.
So they both Zong and Pahua has to wear that when they went into the spirit ring. I forgot how they went there too. I think it was through like some kind of like I
Elephant
forgot.
portal, right? Is it the elephant portal? It's like, or is that the elephant portal was to the Echo place? Was
Yeah,
it?
yeah, it's to the
Yeah.
Echo place. I forgot how they went to like the spirit. I know me told them, me led the way. Oh, I think they have to squeeze through something. Like they have to go through some kind of like
No, that's the tree that later when they get squeezed. So no, I forgot how they got there, but basically they can't travel there spiritually, so they physically went there.
how they get to like the spirit rim
Mhm.
is that they have to go through the cat meat and meat knows the way there. So
Mhm.
they were like apparently they were just walking down the middle of the street and then they just kind of like
Mhm.
went into a place called the crossroads, and that's where all kinds of spirits were traveling to all these different rings. There was like traffic there, and then with the way she explained it was so interesting. All kinds of like animals, spirits that were lining up. There's traffic. They're all waiting because they cannot cross the spirit ring without like
Yeah.
without like a passport or something.
Like boarding passes or
Your boarding pass. So there's like a border patrol that lets every single creatures into there, and so
Mhm.
they kind of like trick the patrols to let them in because they met like
Mhm.
two Bo, right? The
Yeah.
Mrs. Bo and her
Your
son
husband.
or something. Her
Yeah.
son.
Son? Is his son?
I think her son. Her
Okay.
son. She
Yeah.
gave them some food to go to like the spirit rim, how they
Mhm.
can survive there too. And then like she kind of like she kind of helped them trick the patroller, and so
Mhm.
that's how they were able to get into the spirit ring. And
Yep.
then when they were in there, they had to cross like they have to ride a boat to like the other side, and then in that boat they encounter like the what lumong lo de tu li nyu na na yeah
It's a eagle, right?
it's
Is it
the vulture.
vulture?
Yeah, a
I thought it
vulture.
was an
It's a
eagle. Was it eagle?
yeah, itu ego ma.
Okay.
The linyu yeah, itu the linyu is an it could be like I think she wrote it as an eagle, but like
Mhm.
linyu yeah, itu vulture. I think
Mhm.
emang in linyu na. So
It's like a bird, like some sort of bird, some sort of
so
bird predator.
this bird has a very powerful tongue. When it's
Mhm.
flying, it can like call you spiritually and then you will die. They defeated this bird and then
Mhm.
they were able to cross it to the other side, and this is where they came and met the frog from the Nengojopa story.
Yeah, yeah, like Pahuana hasn't heard the story, or she doesn't know the story, so Zhong had to like
Explain.
tell the story of how Ningojapa, like she's like the goddess, and then she came down, she tricked like the men,
Dindonjoa.
uh-huh, and then she went into the river, and then she stayed there. So the man had to like beg the frog to drink the river, and that's how the story went. So the frog was drinking the river, but the frog told the man not to laugh at him when he was drinking the river. So, but when he was doing it, like his belly filled up so big that he couldn't help but
Look.
just laugh at the frog. So the frog, the frog's belly popped.
Yep, and then he had to sew the frog's belly back up again, and so apparently this frog was there in the story. Zhang explained that they can see the stitches that's still on his stomach.
So when so there's two of them, right? There's two
Yep,
frogs,
there's
and then
two frog.
they're sucking up water, and then when they suck up the water, there's a path of that's made up of stones, and you have to get across really quick, or else they're once they can't hold the water, they'll spit the water back out, and then when it was their turn, the frog sucked up the water, and they were walking through that tunnel, and that's where they kind of encountered the bridge spirit. So
Yep.
or they spit the water back at them because they couldn't go through quick enough.
They were too slow. Yeah, they
Yeah,
were too slow. Like the animal spirits and everybody when they were crossing, they were fast, but because they were like real like human and
in
crossing
person.
and
Yeah,
she only wore like a sandal, too. And so they had to hop on the rocks and they couldn't. And so when the frog spit back the water out
yeah,
into the lake, they got washed
into the tunnel to a
to the
tunnel.
tunnel. Yep. And that's where the bridge spirit went to stay in that tunnel. And so they knew that they weren't powerful enough to, and so she knew that that's the place that they're gonna come back when they found like the axe to come and defeat that spirit. But then before they can do that, they had to get out of there
Hmm.
and then go find like the
The
lightning
axe.
axe. Yeah.
Oh, so
Yeah.
should we just cut it off at this point?
Yep.
Or okay,
So yeah, so we're only going to talk about up to this point. If you like this book, do go read it. And like I said, we really, I don't know about you, Lee, but I do really enjoy the book, and so that's why I want to promote the book. And
yeah, yeah. I think it's a good read. It's easy, and it tells a lot about our stories, and I think Lori Lee, she does a good job at just rewriting it as her own story.
mhm,
So I really like that part, and
mhm,
I want to promote the book because it's it talks about Hmong culture a lot too. So
yep,
it could reach like a more general audience instead
yep,
of just the Hmong people. So
yep.
I think it's very good in that sense. You know.
I think one day if they were to create like an actual animation or cartoon, it would be like really awesome to see this as well. So
Yeah, yeah, I think it'll make a good either like a cartoon series, or if even if they can adapt it to a live action
mhm.
movie, I think it'll be good too.
Yep, yep,
It'll be nice to watch like all these things unfold in real life, like live action. So
yep, yep.
it'll be good.
Okay, so yeah, thank you for your time for watching this video, and hopefully you like it in the future when we find like other books or other stories that we really like. We're gonna talk about it too, and we'll put it on my channel too.
Okay, well, thank you for having me.
Yeah,
It's nice to meet all you guys. I had fun, and I really enjoyed this book. So I have fun doing this. So I really enjoyed talking to you guys too. So if you guys haven't, uh, like and subscribe to this channel. Or
yes,
if you share, please share this channel to
we,
other
yeah,
people
we
too.
yeah.